Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the rack rank for the first half of 2023. This is a panelist-based ranking following the exact same season as the Lumi rank did, and here are all the panelists that ended up working out. There's a bunch of names in here that you'll probably recognize if you're watching this channel. People like Ether, DKGM, Fortuna, just a bunch of amazing people on here in general. And since we've already talked about the Lumi ranking, and that is going to be the official ranking for the first half of 2023, we are going to be comparing the two rankings and seeing how does a panelist-based ranking do versus an algorithm-based ranking. I do also want to mention all the players that got the exact same placement on both the rankings. We won't be talking about any of those players in this video just because I've already mentioned them in my Lumi rank video. You can go watch that one down below. But the players with the similar rankings are going to be Takara at 46, Lima at 42, Jagaimo at 35, Siski at 28, Skyj at 23, Gact at 22, Osimo at 15, T at 14, Zomba at 13, Riddles at 8, MK Leo at 7, Light at 6, Spargo at 2nd, and Aquila first. And I will briefly touch on that because nowadays it is very clear that Aquila is the best player in the world with Spargo's underperformance at SmashCon. But you have to remember that this ranking was just up till Gommel, so that placement doesn't actually take hold. And I would still have Aquila as the best player in the world, even though Spargo is definitely favored in the head-to-head. In pretty much every other area, Spargo is going to get beaten out by Aquila. Aquila has no unranked losses, as well as a better win rate versus the top 10, versus the top 100, just a better win rate in general. You do also have Spargo winning 2 P-tier events, and while the head-to-head is important, and in a grand finals, Aquila versus Spargo, I would heavily favor Spargo to take that tournament. If I had to pick someone to win a tournament, I would go with Aquila, and I think him being ranked number 1 is the correct choice. I also want to talk about the only players that weren't on both lists, and that's going to be Masa, Kome, and Hurt only appearing on the rack rank, and Riziasu, Quid, and Lugi only appearing on the Lumi rank. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the top 100 for the rack rank, so we can't actually tell where they would have ranked Riziasu, Quid, and Lugi, but we do have that for the Lumi rank. You're going to have Masa and Kome coming in at the 52 to 60 area, and you're going to have Hurt coming in at the 61 to 70 area. And of those 3 players that I mentioned, if I had to choose 2 to put in the top 50, I'd probably choose the 2 from Lumi rank in Quid and Lugi, and then I would put Hurt on as well, because Hurt, especially at the regional level, has been such an impressive player. And on an algorithm-based ranking, you're not going to be rewarded as heavily for those regional event wins, but the way that Hurt was not only looking at those events, but as well as some of the wins he was getting, I mean, he just looked phenomenal. I think as of right now, he is the best snake in Japan, though Dio is definitely going to be the best snake of the season. We do have to talk about the difference between Apollo Kage and Dio as well, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I think Hurt being on here is absolutely deserving. He was barely shy of it on the Lumi rank. Honestly surprised that he was a little bit lower, but again, a lot of his performances are going to be coming from regional, so hopefully he's able to perform at the major level like I know, and a lot of people I feel like know that he can. And the reason I have Lugi and Quid in my top 50 as well, as opposed to Riziasu, Masa, and Kome, is no disrespect to those players. I just think Lugi and Quid are absolutely goated and just haven't had a lot of opportunities to prove themselves. When they did go to events this year, they had some pretty strong results. You have Quid winning a couple regionals, didn't do as well at the major level, still the 17th at Collision though, and then you obviously have Lugi's run at Battle of BC, which was stunted a little bit short, but to be fair, he lost to Spargo and Kameme, so I can't even blame for that, and then had an incredible losers run to get 2nd place at King of Fields. So those would be my 3 picks to put on the list. And we got to talk about players that have gone up or down drastically, starting off with players that have decreased by 9 spots. That's going to be Bloom Forever, Ouch, and Hikaru. Starting off with Hikaru. Now, he's got some really strong placements, most notably his 9th place at Kagurui 9 and his 3rd place at Japan 24, getting wins on players like Mia and Kameme. But everything outside of that is an incredible 17th at Wave 4, 25th at Kagurui 10, but most notably a 65th at Umebura SP9, which is definitely where he probably got dinked all the way to 45th. Now, to Hikaru's credit, he was picking up a new character this season. He was trying out the Sora a lot more. Still got the Donkey Kong and the Roy in the back pocket. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he broke into the top 30, top 25 going into the second half of the year, because picking up Sora, very hard character to adapt with at the top level, as well as a character that can take you incredibly far. So Hikaru, I don't think this placement should bother him too much. For Ouch as well, as much as it hurts my heart, it does make sense that he went down a decent amount. He has no top 8s this year, though he did get close with a 9th place at Major Upset and a 9th place at Genesis. And the main problem for him is probably going to be his wins list, because you have Big D and Kameme, who actually both went up on this list. He has a win at Kameme at Genesis. He's got like 30 wins at Big D just over regional performances, but having wins on players, 2 wins on players in the top 50, it just isn't enough. He might have wins on other players that have maybe shifted into the list, but to my knowledge, he's only got wins on those players in the top 50, so it makes sense why his ranking went down. And then Bloom Forever as well, you're going to have Lugi shifting out of this one, so that wins are not going to matter as much. You are going to have Glutony going up and then Siski staying the exact same, but let's face it, Bloom Forever just doesn't have enough results. You know, I know, every single person in the world knows that Bloom Forever is nowhere close to being ranked 37th, actually. But if you look at his results, there is not a chance he should be higher. He has no performances at the major level. His regionals are very strong, but as I was saying earlier with Douch, he's only got wins on 2 players that are in the top 50, and while those players are incredible, Glutzy in the top 10, Siski within the top 30, it just isn't enough. Having a winning record on 2 players in the top 50 is nice, but I can't really justify Bloom Forever being any higher than this, even though I think in actuality he's like a top 10 player in the world, very talented. When you're looking at his results, him being shifted down makes a lot of sense. You're also going to have MK Big Boss falling by 10 spots, and you're going to have Dio falling by 11 spots. Now, for MK Big Boss, it's likely just because his wins list wasn't strong enough. For the people that are ranked on this list, he's going to get a win on Sonics at Let's Make Big Moves, where he got 7th place. He's going to double eliminate Kurama from the bracket at DreamHack San Diego, which he won, and he's going to get a win on Siski at Gommel, where he ended up getting 13th place. But outside of that, he doesn't have any super notable wins, at least wins within the top 50. He's obviously got some notable wins, like wins on Cola, Anathema, Cosmos, just to name a couple. And his other placements, he's got some okay ones, like a 5th place at Wave Dash, 9th place at Patchwork, 17th place at Major Upset and Collision, and some not as okay ones, like a 33rd at Genesis, most notably, though, a 65th at Battle of BC, where he has an on-rank loss to Bambino. So I could definitely see why MK Big Boss went down a little bit more, but I could also see him being ranked a little bit higher, because me personally, I value wins on players like Cosmos, Anathema, Cola still extremely high. Even though they weren't ranked very high, I think those players are absolutely incredible. So MK Big Boss, maybe not as low as 47, but I could definitely see him being docked a few points. What I really am interested in, though, is Dio going down by 11 spots, and Apollo Kage actually being ranked the highest snake on the list. So this is a very interesting conversation, because Dio and Apollo Kage both have their faults. You're going to have Apollo Kage 65th at Genesis, 33rd at both the Canadian majors, and you're going to have Dio with a 49th at Maysuma top 11 and a 33rd at Maysuma top 12. For top 8s for these players, you're going to have Dio top 8ing Alt Core as well as Umabora getting 7th place at both of those events, and you're going to have Apollo Kage top 8ing Summon also getting 7th place at this event. But if I had to guess what it ultimately came down to, it's going to be the win list, because you're going to have Dio with wins on Osimo, Mia, Jogabu, Riddles, Takara, and Masha. Insanely strong win list. But you're going to have Apollo Kage with wins on Glutini, Ken, Leo, 2 wins on Zomba, Riddles, Onin, and Lima. So I do understand why Apollo Kage is ranked higher. Now, who do I think the best snake in the world is? Honestly, I don't really know. It is so close between Dio and Apollo Kage. It really is. What do you value? Do you value the peaks of Dio, which Dio definitely has the peaks, as well as a little bit more consistency, but you're going to have Apollo Kage with the peaks, I guess, in terms of wins. Dio's peaks are coming more in placements. And honestly, if I had to pick who the best snake in the world is right now, I'd probably just say it's Hurt, so I don't have to think about it anymore. We've talked about a lot of shift downs. Let's finally talk about a shift up, as well as the biggest placement difference on the list, which is going to be Doramigi increasing by 13 points. Now, if I had to guess why this is, just taking a shot in the dark, I would say it's because his 2nd place at Maysuma top 13, where he picked up wins on Luminous, Proto Bonham, Kameme, T, and Yoshidora. That is an insane run. But he's also got some other very nice performances. 25th at Maysuma top 12 with wins on DeBuzz and Fudakiwi, and a 7th place at Sumabato SB36 with wins on Osimo and Shower. So I do understand why Doramigi was shifted up very high. He undeniably, though, does have a handful of inconsistencies, most notably that 97th at Kagurimi 9 is definitely going to bite him in the butt. But Doramigi being ranked this high, I think is absolutely acceptable. I think the players on this panel list very highly value the peaks of players, and Doramigi has one of the highest peaks in this entire game. So I think him being ranked top 30 is honestly just foreshadowing of what's to come. Now, before we do move on to the top 20, there's 2 more players that I do want to mention that I just didn't really have segments for. The first one is going to be Chase. He's just a lot closer to Jagaimo. He moved up by 5 spots, being at 41 previously, and Jagaimo staying at 35, still being the best Paul in the world, but I feel like this demonstrates a lot better of how close the competition is between them for the title of the best Paulo. So I like that he was bumped up a little bit, and then Mars as well, actually moving up on this list by 2 spots from 34 to 32nd. I mean, SmashCon definitely proved these people right. I have to agree that Mars should be ranked highly here. I mean, from the performances that he did have, he had literally no bad performances. 9th place at Genesis, 7th place at Level of Exo, and a 3rd place at Kawaii Con. I know some people were unhappy on how high he was ranked, but we all know that Mars would be ranked way higher if he just went to more events. I feel like SmashCon is kind of proving of that, so I think Mars at 32nd is absolutely fine. And here we are, the top 20. Our biggest shifts are going to be Mudace down by 5 spots and DeBuzz up by 5 spots. Now, for Mudace, it makes a lot of sense. In my opinion, he has the highest peak of the season with his run at Genesis, getting wins on Meister, Akala, Glutony, Light, and MK Leo for 2nd place. but he's also got his Japan trip, which is abhorrent. He's also got Summer, where he gets wins on Riddles and Sparrow. He's also got his Japan trip, which is really bad. He's also got some very nice regional performances, like Low Tide, like Patrick. He's also got his Japan trip, which is really bad. You kind of get my point here. Mutus is a player that I don't really think it matters where you rank him. Kind of the same thing as Bloom Forever. Wherever you put them, whatever number you're going to attach to them, they can win in a major event, or they could not get top 8, or they could not get top 32. They are fairly inconsistent players. Bloom Forever is just kind of because he bombed out at King of Fields. I feel like that's not going to be a trend. He just didn't go to a ton of stuff. But Mute's definitely going to be a little bit more inconsistent. So him being shifted out of the top 20 doesn't really bother me too much. You're going to have the Buzz being moved up into the top 20. Now, the Buzz also had a handful of inconsistencies. 33rd at Collision, 33rd at Maysuma top 12, 33rd at Delta 40. He also has that 4th place at Calgary 10, which is incredible, and a win at CEO, which was a B+ tier. Wins on Apollo Kage, 2 of them, Dio, Gakt, Hiro, Hikaru, Ouch, and 2 wins on Riddles and Yar. Now, personally, I wouldn't have the Buzz in my top 20 for the first half of 2023, but also after that run of SmashCon, he's definitely top 20, so I feel like it's not even something that's worth talking about right now. I guess the rack ranking really just is a profit. They guess the Buzz, they guess Mars, they're guessing Doran Migi, so you got to put your stocks in him because you know he's going to go up now. And here we are, the top 10. The first thing that we got to talk about is this shift between Glutiny and Kameme for Yoshidora and Shootone, I guess the other way around. On the Lumi rank, you're going to have Kameme at 12, Glutiny at 11th, Yoshidora at 10, and Shootone at 9. They kind of switched around here. And honestly, on the Lumi rank, they were just within a couple points of each other. I think they are all very close and fairly interchangeable, so I think this is absolutely fine. I mean, Glutiny, 1 King of Fields, amazing performances. Kameme, 3rd place at Battle of the Sea, amazing performances. Yoshidora, 3rd place at Umebora, amazing performances. Shootone, 1 at Kowloon 5, and Wave 4, amazing performances. All these guys are incredible, all top 10 caliber. The order really doesn't matter to me. I think Riddles 8 is absolutely true. You're going to have both Lumi ranking and the rack rank, putting Light at 6 and Leo at 7. Now, me personally, in my very, very, very humble opinion, I still have Leo at 6 just because he overperformed Light or plays with Light at all the tournaments that they've been to. He has a winning record on Light, but you also have to consider that when Leo went to Summit and didn't do super well there, you had Light winning level of EXO, you have Leo getting 2nd place at Major Upset, which is still very good, wins on Kurama and Spargo, but you also have Light winning Momocon with wins on Sonic. So I can definitely understand why Leo is above Light, or rather why Light is above Leo, but I would have it the other way around. And I saved the drama for last because the final thing we're going to be talking about is Tweak at 3, Mia at 4, and Sonics at 5th. Now, in my opinion, I definitely have Mia at 3, and there is reasons why he should not be 3. Obviously, that 49th at Calgary 9 is very ugly, as well as on-rank losses to Aegis, Fudokiwi, Mediterra, and Strix. But also, he has wins at Delta 4, Maysuma top 11, Maysuma top 13, Sumageki 13, and Ultcore. And he also has 2nd place at Kowloon 5 and Japan 24, and Maysuma top 12. And that's only noting tournaments where he's gotten 1st and 2nd at the major level, because he's also farming regional events. He's also just been top 80 other events, like a 4th place at Sumageki 13, and a 5th place at Battle of BC. Mia is absolutely insane, but undeniably, he's got some lower placements. Where you look at Tweak's resume, pretty much nothing bad. His only on-ranked loss is going to be to Big Duck Up Fan 7000, who, if she just went to more events, would probably be ranked, to be honest. His worst placement being a 9th place at Battle of BC, 2nd place at Summit, and a 2nd place at Level of EXO, as well as a massive win at Let's Make Videos. So this really does just come down to, what do you value? Do you value the consistency of Tweak, or do you value the peaks of Mia? Clearly on this list, it came down to the consistency of Tweak. Again, I definitely have Mia at 3 just because I think his peaks are just so insane. Even though he does have some lows, he just has so many wins. He has 10 wins on Odyssey World this season, by the way, which is absolutely insane. And then for the discussion of Sonics and Tweak, I think that one really is just which wins do you value more. I mean, they both got 2 wins on Spargo, they both have wins on Light, they both have wins on Riddles, they both have wins on Leo. They have a lot of crossing over wins, just kind of the multitude and the time where they got those wins is probably what came to the effect for that. So I think Sonics at 5th is fun. I think Tweak at 3rd is fine, but I would definitely, if I had it my way, put Mia at 3, and then probably still Sonics at 4. I do have Sonics over Tweak just because I think his Gama win is a little bit better, as well as his win list being slightly stronger. I mean, he's got 3 wins on Zamba, 3 wins on Leo, only 1 win on Light though, whereas Tweak is going to have 3 wins on Light. So honestly, there's a lot of semantics, a lot of nitty-gritty. We can get down to it, but the main point I'm trying to take across is, sorry, my mic cut out right at the end there, but all I was saying is that even though Mia definitely has his inconsistencies, I still value his highs enough where I would have him at top 3 in the world. And I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Another huge shout out to everyone that participated in making the rack rank. Really good job this time around. I mean, it's good every time around. Their link to the Twitter will be down below. And yeah, that's all I got to say. If there's anything that I got wrong in this video with the numbers or just a stat that I missed, just something in general, please let me know down below. Sport's been absolutely unreal. Thank you all for everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.